at JunieandJackShow.com.
Don't forget to subscribe and share.
New episode coming up now.
Hand over the heater.
Hey, touch me again and I'll break your fingers. Ow! Okay, just hold on a minute. I had no choice. I couldn't try anything without getting plugged, so I opened my coat and let one of the goons take my Tommy gun from me. He saw the pistol in my shoulder holster and grabbed that too. I'd better get those back.
Get in the car, doll. I don't want to make a mess of those fine clothes of yours.
Ow! You son of a...
Shouldn't have done that, Jack.
He deserved it. He cut my arm.
You broke his nose. Now it's my turn. Oh, for crying out loud, what now? Come on, Saw, you can get that nose looked at.
I listened as intently as I could, but I couldn't make out what Leggy was saying. I wish I knew what books they were asking for. I'd hand them over in an instant. I could only guess that they were something that was important to Fat Johnnie's business. He wouldn't care if someone stole his copies of Hamlet. He didn't seem the type to read anyway. My eye went to a scalpel on the floor. It was just within reach of my foot. I kicked it closer and covered it with my other shoe.
The gang of thugs blindfolded me as soon as I got into the car. I would have protested, but with the two Tommy guns pointed at me, it wasn't exactly smart to resist. After driving for 20 minutes or so, we stopped and got out. They didn't take my blindfold off until after we got into the building and up a flight of stairs. They deposited me in a fancy-looking room lined with bookshelves and filled with all sorts of books. As soon as the blindfold was off, one of the men started getting frisky with me. Hey, get your 8 mitts off me.
Sorry, doll. Can't have you armed.
He reached up my leg to see if I was stashing a pistol around my thigh. I was. It was a little awkward to have the man reach down my pantsuit to get to it. I tried to smack him, but his associate grabbed my hand before I could give him a good one.
Look at this little sneak. Any others I should know about?
Buy me dinner next time. They left me in the room alone after that. I had enough time to peruse the books. Mostly boring stuff that rich people keep in their libraries to make other people think they were smart. Stuff like The Count of Monte Cristo, Les Miserables, and Darwin's On the Origin of the Species. I had to dig real deep to find the dog-eared copies of Frankenstein and the Time Machine. Hidden behind a full set of The Decline and Fall of the Roman Empire was a huge collection of action comics, including plenty of issues of Superman. Next to those were a bunch of Detective Dan and Dick Tracy comics. The fact that the comics about PIs were well worn was a good sign that he might be a potential client and not a potential enemy. I guess I should be so lucky as to find an ally after being plucked off the streets by men with Tommy guns. Turned out, it was Fat Johnnie.
Hello, Mrs. Itis.
I must protest the way I was brought here, Mr. What do I call you? Mr. Johnnie? That sounds a little too familiar.
Funny girl. Did you get that lip from Jack? Or is it the other way around?
It's more like we're mixing vodka and whiskey together.
Most people call me boss. But since you're not in my employ, I can see how that might be awkward. You may call me Johnnie.
In that case, you may call me Junie.
If you're looking for an apology for how you were treated, you won't get one. You were the one that wanted to see me. A lot of people want to see me. Most wanted to be behind bars, at the end of a rope, or full of holes, so I can't be too careful. So what can I do for you, Junie?
I want Jack back.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yes, you do. If you knew I wanted to see you, then you've talked to Shifty. And Shifty was the one who told me you have him.
You're a clever one, and better looking than most PIs I talk to.
Smarter too, I'd wager.
If you were, you'd have had better sense than to get involved with me.
You're right about that. I did know better. It was Jack who was the dumb one.
You know, Jack doesn't have a nickname. Most of us do, as I'm sure you've noticed. It's sort of a tradition amongst wise guys. Maybe we should start calling your man Dumb Jack.
Doesn't exactly roll off the tongue. Might I suggest Jack the Nitwit?
Nitwit Jack. I like it.
Great. Glad that's cleared up. Now where is he? It's past his bedtime.
Sorry, doll. I can't give him up just yet. Not till he sings.
About what?
My books. He took them, and I need them back.
What books? You asked about them at the ball, and I have no idea what you're talking about.
Have a seat, Junie, and I'll tell you all about it.
Why are you in such a good mood all of a sudden? Glad I broke old Sawbones' nose?
Nah, you're still gonna pay for that. Nah, I just got off the phone with the boss.
He tell you got the wrong guy?
I bet you like that. Nah, even better. He told me he's got your wife.
Junie? That's supposed to make me talk? She can take a beating. She's tougher than I am.
I guess we'll have to see how tough she really is.
Fat Johnnie went and kidnapped Junie. That was a bold move, even for him. She wasn't one of his guys, and someone would definitely notice her missing. That would bring the kind of heat down on Fat Johnnie's operation that he didn't want. The law. That would take too long, though, and assumed that someone outside would know that Fat Johnnie was the one who took her. It was time to stop playing with Leggy. Junie might be in trouble, and I got her into it. I had to get her out.
Fat Johnnie lit up a stogie as soon as I sat down. He was polite enough to offer me one, but I declined. Those things stunk to high heaven. And besides, it wasn't very ladylike. Okay, I'm all ears. Explain to me what these books are and why they're so important.
You're a businesswoman, right?
I have an office and run a business, yes.
And you keep records of all your business dealings?
Of course. The feds would not be happy if I didn't.
Then you understand that I'm not mad at Jack for stealing my copy of Gone with the Wind. These aren't just some books. These are the books, the ledgers. They contain all the important documentation that pertain to my operation. And not just the important stuff either, the sensitive stuff as well. And not just for my operation. These books have dirt on every boss in town. In the wrong hands, someone could take over my whole business with these books.
I can see why you would want them back. But you think Jack took them? Jack's not smart enough to run a business.
You and he had a pretty good moonshine operation during Prohibition.
Yeah, and he wasn't smart enough to be able to pivot to a legitimate business once Prohibition ended. Jack didn't take your books.
Yes, he did. And let me tell you how.
Boss, Fat Johnnie's got Junie.
So? That's what she wanted.
I don't trust him.
You getting soft on the gumshoe? What will your girlfriend say?
I ain't soft on no one, boss. But she's a stand-up dame, and she's got no part of this business.
Are you saying we should take on the boss? Are you crazy?
Nah, nothing like that. All I'm saying is there should be someone there to talk Fat Johnnie down before he does something he'll regret.
Why should I care? And why should you?
Boss, She ain't no double-crossing jailbird like Flipstick, and you owe her.
Yeah, I guess you're right. But it's just going to be me and you. We can't trust anyone else.
Okay, boss.
And if anything goes south, I'm not going to hesitate to tell Johnny it was you who did in Sal.
I told you, boss. Me and Itis are done. I'm your man now. Not Johnny's, not Junie's, not anyone's.
On a first-name basis with her now? What will Margaret say?
You know what he could be doing to her right now? Sawbones isn't his only pain expert. He's got other guys who are even more creative.
Okay, I'll talk. But only to Fat Johnnie himself, not to some podunk like you.
You want another?
Ugh!
Call that one a bonus.
Just untie me. I'll go willingly.
No funny stuff, Jack.
Whoa!
I told you no funny stuff. Now get up.
Sorry. I guess being tied to this chair made my legs fall asleep.
Move.
What Leggy didn't notice was me palming the scalpel when I fell.
All right, Johnny, explain it to me.
First, let me ask you. Do you know why Jack has a will to live?
He didn't go into any details.
About a month ago, I held a reception for my crew here in my house. And Jack was caught stealing from me.
I would love to claim that Jack is smarter than that, but we all know that he isn't.
You got that right. He was clever enough to use my party as a chance to get into my office, but wasn't smart enough not to get caught. A truly smart man wouldn't have tried to steal from me in the first place.
So you caught Jack stealing the books? Then why didn't you take them from him when you had the chance?
He didn't have anything on him when we caught him, and we searched him thoroughly.
Sounds like he didn't take the books then.
Let me lay some facts out for you, and let you, the detective, make the call.
Do you think your love of detective comics makes you a good judge of the profession?
It has given me some insight. So let me lay out the facts. The day before the party, I was in the books doing the monthly record keeping. The day of the party, Jack was caught in my office, rooting around the place. The day after the party, my accountant found that the books were missing. Who would be your prime suspect?
Was anyone else in the office that day?
Besides myself and my accountant? No.
Did anyone else have access?
There are only 2 keys in the office, mine and the accountant's.
Who caught Jack?
One of my trusted lieutenants.
Who?
Stiv. I believe you two are acquainted.
We are. How's his mouth?
Healing. I had been speaking metaphorically when I said you could knock his teeth out. I hadn't expected you to actually do it.
That's on him. He got a warning.
Now, based on the information I've given you, what is your conclusion?
I had to admit, Fat Johnnie presented a compelling case for Jack to be the prime suspect. But did he actually do it? I wasn't entirely convinced. I knew Jack. If he had taken them, he would have needed an accomplice to hand them off to before getting caught. And Jack didn't say anything to me about taking the books. But it wouldn't be the first time he'd lied.
Leggy opened the door and let me out at gunpoint. We were in what looked like an abandoned speakeasy. There was a long bar opposite us, and chairs and tables stacked up to our left. A phone box was on the wall behind the bar. I appeared to have been locked inside some sort of storage room. Leggy was startled at Sawbones' surprise appearance. I took advantage of it. He moved the gun out of my back and pointed it at Sawbones. As soon as he did, I elbowed him in the gut, stepped to the side, and slashed at Leggy's wrist with the scalpel.
Ah!
You, Sawbones, back in the closet.
My hand!
Calm down. It's not that bad. Here's a handkerchief if you think you need it.
What now?
We go to Fat Johnnie's, same as before, just with me holding the gun.
You'll get plugged the second you get through the door.
That's why you'll be going through first. Leggy had a nice gun. A good old Colt 1911. I can't remember the last time I'd held one of these. I pointed Leggy outside, but we didn't head straight to Fat Johnnie's. I had a quick stop to make first. If I was going to rescue Junie, I was going to do it in style.
Okay, let's say I believe you. Jack did it. What now?
He's gotta tell us where he stashed them.
Will you guarantee his safety if he does?
I would like to. I really would. But could I let someone in my employ do something like this without punishment?
Well, that's too bad. I guess I won't be able to help you then.
Are you suggesting you know where the books are?
No, I'm afraid not. If Jack knows where they are, he's playing that one close to his chest.
Then I guess we have nothing more to say to each other.
I didn't say I couldn't get it out of him. I just said I didn't know. Now, if you're willing to extract him from whatever hovel he's in, I can see about getting him to tell me what's what.
I'm listening.
But I need some assurances from you regarding his safety. It was then I noticed his watch chain. The fact that he wore one had escaped my attention before. But there was something very familiar about it that sparked my interest when he pulled it out. I would recognize that watch chain anywhere. It was my grandfather's. Why does Fat Johnnie have my grandfather's pocket watch? Will Jack get here in time to rescue me? Find out in the next episode.
Hello. Oh, thank you. Thank you. You're too kind. Thank you. Thanks for listening to the Jack and Junie Show.
Junie and Jack Show.
I'm your co-host, Jack Itis.
I'm Junie Itis.
Thank you. And over there, my beautiful and indomitable better half, Junie
Jack,
Itis.
stop being a show-off.
You ready, Junie? Here we go. I love to see your beautiful face looking right there back at me. You're looking at me, baby. I know it. I can see
Cut
it.
it out.
Hello. Your smile. You got a nice smile, baby. It melts the ice, but I'm chills all the while.
And in the daytime, sweet, sweet kisses. Well, it knocks me out like too much strawberry wine. And in the nighttime, when we're touching, I'm happy, babe, but I just thought I'd tell you why.
Tell me why again. I want to hear it. Once again, thank you very much for listening to our little show. We really appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you for listening.
Thank you, guys. Thank you. You're the best.
Jack, quit gushing.
New episode drops next week. Listen in to find out what will happen to us.
If I don't kill him first.
She doesn't mean that. She doesn't. She always says
You
that.
want
She
to
doesn't mean
bet?
it.
Want to bet?